Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 327. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing Friday. I know I have. I have one amazing guest for you tonight, one legendary hash maker, Mr. Nikka T. How you doing tonight? First of all, tell us where we can find you, and tell us how you're doing tonight, good sir.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed. Thanks for having me. I just flew in. It's really hard to find me. I can barely find myself, but I just flew in from California back to Colorado a couple hours ago. Online though, you can find me at Nikka T on Instagram, NIKKA__T on Instagram because they keep booting me. Lately, I've been on Twitch quite a bit. On Sundays, I play a little DJ set, a live DJ set on Twitch. So you can find me at www.twitch.tv/NIKKA_T, just one underscore on Twitch. You can check out my websites, www.essentialextracts.ca.co is also another website. We just are about to launch essentialextracts-cbd.com for my hemp line. And yeah, man, I'm just blessed to stay busy right now, bro. Oh, did I lose? I think I lost sound.
No, that's me. That was me. I'm sorry, I was muted.
No worries.
So, yeah, this show is usually a chance to get to know some of these great people that we see around the cannabis community. So usually we kind of start off right from the beginning and get to know them a little bit. So basically, just because you're a hash legend, this doesn't change the MO any. So usually the first question on this is, when did cannabis enter your life? When was the first time that you smoked this plant or was around the plant for the very first time?
Yeah, the first time I smoked was when I was like, I think 12 or 13 years old, and I was with a German foreign exchange student. And we were out on this like lake on a camping trip, on a family camping trip, and he pulls a pack of cigarettes out that he had like smuggled with him from Germany. And in Germany, they start smoking a lot younger. And he pulls out a cigarette and he lights it and he passes me one, or passes me that same cigarette. And I hit the cigarette once and I hated it. And I like, it was like gross. And I threw it into the lake. And he got really upset with me. He's like, "Oh, I only brought a few of those from Germany. Like, why'd you throw it?" And I was like, "Man, that was horrible." And he pulls out something else from the cigarette pack, and it was a spliff, tobacco and cannabis. He's like, "Try this one, just don't throw it in the fucking lake." And I tried it and I was like, "Oh, this one's way better." And that was the first time I smoked weed. Yeah. And it happened to be a spliff. And I feel like that's part of the reason I'm addicted to spliffs, blending European style.
So Germany was the first time, or was
no, it was in the United
here?
States. Yeah, he was over here.
Okay. Yep. So was it did it take off after that? Was it pretty much a staple? Was it one of them things where you just kind of knew, yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't think I've stopped since then, for real. Like, I've been super blessed to smoke pretty much consistently since I was 13 years old. And I'm saying blessed. I don't think it's a bad thing. My son's about that age right now, and in no way do I put it on him. You know, he's grown up with it around him, but he makes his own choices and he doesn't like cannabis. And I don't smoke it around him. I don't want to put that on him if he's not into it. So I don't smoke it around him. I go outside, I go in my garage. But yeah, my son's around the same age that I started smoking and he's not into it. And I'm kind of happy about that. But at the same time, I'm really blessed to have fucking smoked all these years. I think it's great for some people and not everyone needs it, you know?
I dig that hams on your hat, by the way.
What's that? Oh, the hams.
I dig the hams on your hat.
Oh, yeah, the hamsa. Yeah.
Pretty cool. So, where did you go from there? I mean, when did you start growing? Have you grown? I know you're a hash artist, but have you grown?
So you know, from a young age, I grew up in the garden center. My parents ran the Tandem family nursery. Like my folks, my family, my grandpa, my aunts, my uncles, like everyone in my family was running nursery businesses when I was growing up as a kid. So I grew up watering the roses. I grew up learning about plants. I grew up trimming plants. I remember, like, I don't know, when I was a teenager, I think I popped a few seeds in the backyard with my pops. That was like, you know, a long, long time ago. We were just playing around. I started like really growing with my like partner back in the day, and like roommate and homie that I've known for fucking 20 years. He's now an amazing breeder. He's still one of my best friends, Greg Genome Alchemy. We grew a couple of grows in our basement probably 15 years ago, longer, maybe 15, 20 years ago or something like that. And I also helped with some basement grows in Boulder, Colorado, like 20, 21 years ago. But it wasn't until about 8 years ago that I built my first grow that I solely ran. You know, so I'm still a complete novice. I would not say in any way that I'm a master grower by any means. I'm learning something every single day in hash making and growing and cultivation. But I play around a little bit in the garden. I had like a full build out, you know, in a couple houses and shit, you know, over the years. And these days I'm just on the road so much that I just have a little tent and I'll put 6 plants in it when I know I'm going to be here for longer than 2 weeks at a time. That's kind of where I'm at with growing right now.
So what are some of the strains you've been that you've grown out over the years?
Oh man, for years and years, for like, you know, 8 years in a row, all I grew was OGs. I had like a nice stable of like 13, 15 different OG, clone only OG cuts, from SFV to Ghost to Skywalker, 91 OG, you name it, Triangle OG, Triangle Kush. We pretty much had most all of them. The Hell's OG, all those planetary OGs from Johnny at OG Genetics. He was sorting me out with clone only OGs for the last 12 years now, actually. And originally we were growing a lot of them at my commercial cultivation pink house. But at the same time, I started really, you know, diving into the cultivation myself. And OGs have always been one of my favorite things to grow. They're finicky, they're hard to grow, they're not the biggest yielders, but it's what I want to smoke. Lately, I've been really liking gelatos and gelato crosses to grow and to smoke for flowers. And then for concentrates, I've got a few bangers that I really rock out, you know, that I like to cultivate for specifically solventless and rosin. And those are like Chem D OG, which is strain from Top Dog seeds. That's just a big dumper. It doesn't have a very strong chem nose to it. Doesn't have a very gassy nose at all. It's kind of sugary. It's just a huge dumper for us. I really like key lime pie for flower and for hash. It's one of those ones that's like it's an underdog. Nobody really talks about it too much, but the key lime pie, which is actually a F1 of a cookie pheno or something. Key lime pie is it's a washer and it's amazing in flower. So that's like the underdog that I like to chat about.
You know, it isn't always either or. So it's nice that you have one that's both.
Yeah.
You know. So what are some of the things that you're looking for in a flower or in a strain for a hash producer?
For hash producer, I look for trichome density. I look for trichome structure and tactile feel. Really, those are the 3 main things that I look for. I also want to know, you know, when those plants are finishing. You know, if it's a strain that like makes amazing trichomes, but it's not done until 85 days, it's probably not a good hasher viability wise. You know, we have these strains that are yielding fucking over 7-8% taken at 40 days. You know, those are the ones that I'd like to call hashers or washers, the ones that really people are looking for right now.
Well, what makes the difference in the time?
Trichome development, you know, maturation. So if you have a cultivar that has trichomes that mature and create a bulbous head that has a real thin waxy cuticle early on, you know, you can just flip your garden that much faster. It might not look finished as far as smokable flower goes, but it's finished as far as the trichomes go for the hash.
So when was the first time that you decided to make your first hash? When was your first hash wash?
Oh man, I think I washed up in the hills of NorCal at my uncle's farm. um, Shit, back in like, I guess like the late 90s. There's yeah, yeah, late 90s. I'd say. I remember in like the early 2000s, when we were in Boulder, Colorado, I was definitely washing in my basement with friends that I still hang out with daily here in Colorado. My buddy Darwin came over a couple weeks ago actually to come help wash a few things over at the R&D lab with me, and it's pretty cool because we've been making hash together for 20 years, you know, and we're still homies and we still doing our thing. He's got a few consulting gigs throughout the world, and I'm doing my thing, but when we come together, it's a fun time, you know?
So how long from that first wash did you actually think, you know, hell, this is something I need to pursue?
Well,
This
I
is
mean, I
something
think
that
instantly I pursued it because we were making really low grade bubble hash in the late 90s. Um, Fucking up in Mendo, up in Humboldt, and taking it down to the bay. And I was doing all kinds of stupid shit to dry it. I was putting it in my shoe. I was like squishing the water out. You know, like we tried all these methods back in the day, because I was a hash smoker. That's really what made me want to continue making hash and learning this trade, is because I liked hash. I wanted to smoke hash. You know, like as a kid, I would put it on top of bowls and on bong rips and shit like that, and even in my joints for sure. You know, it wasn't until later on that we got into knife hits, and then, you know, eventually dabbing, the progression, you know. But I've always just been a hash head, man. This spliff I'm smoking right now had a nice chunk of hash in it. Whenever I'm actually like really chilling on the couch and relaxing, I totally forgot about this interview. So I'm like wearing the hoodie, the hash gym hoodie. Big up 6 Star Society for sending me this hash gym hoodie. But yeah, you know, I'm like wearing an oversized hoodie right now, just relaxing, and smoking a big hash spliff and drinking some tea, because I've been on the road working, DJing. I DJed last night until 4 a.m. You caught me, bro. Somehow you caught me, but it's good. I'm glad I sent the message.
I'm glad I caught you too. I'm glad I caught you too. Wow, that's a pretty full schedule between,
Yeah,
you know,
bro. I didn't, you
gardening
know,
and
that's why I was like, oh shit, I've got an interview today? Damn, I went hard last night, yo. Yeah.
man. It's gotta be a good time. So what size venues do you DJ at?
Well, this is all like virtual still for the most part. Things are starting to open up, but I've DJ'd everything. I DJ'd Sold Out Crowd at Red Rocks, was one of my biggest shows that I performed at. And it was actually the first time Red Rocks had sold out in like 5-10 years. I think, yeah, almost a decade. It was the first time Red Rocks had sold out for Reggae on the Rocks. Sorry, should preface. Sells out all the fucking time before Corona, but for a Reggae on the Rocks, it was the first time it had sold out in a minute, and so I got to play for a fully overbooked crowd, which was nice. We used to throw Extract Artist Harvest events, Harvest Fests, at Cervantes. I mean, we started them at the Oriental, and then we moved up to one side of Cervantes. Then we took over both sides of Cervantes. So that was a nice big show that I performed at, hosted, produced. So I do a lot more than just DJing. I do a lot of hosting, MC work, production, event production, stage production. Yeah.
Pretty busy guy, man.
Like,
Pretty
can I
busy
flip
guy.
my screen?
Before I
Oh
get
yeah,
too
I
far
can
out, I
flip the
want to
screen. You
ask
can see my
Kinder
little
Grows here in chat would like to know
mini
what's your
stage.
favorite gelato and
Oh
where'd you get
man.
it?
Oh man. I mean, I like all, like, if you find like real, I don't know. I guess like gelato, if you're talking about the numbers, I like the floral aspect of the 33, but the structure I don't like. I love the taste of a proper batch of 41, aka Baccio, aka, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of names for it, but I like that Fino. I really like all the runts and runts crosses. You know, I like that floral anise candy gas. But I also like gas and like alone. And then I like citrus gas, like the lemon bean. OG Eddie Lep times lemon tree. I'm working on finding some fucking keepers of this sweet lemon tea, bred by Shiloh Massive, the brethren over there. We've been hunting for a washer in that one. You know, sorry, I could go on and on about cultivars that I like, but right now I have this, like, the one I'm smoking. The second is biscotti times jet fuel times acai gelato. And it's pretty nuts. I also am smoking on some of this like Skittles mints. The Skittles mints I really, really like right now. It's just fucking straight candy. Yeah, and then I have this fucking Gushers pie number 3. That's one of my favorite things smoking in the world right now. And I can't even find it. I just came back. Literally, I just got back like an hour ago. Somewhere there's a Gushers Pie 3 hiding from me.
So in your garden, I can't help but wonder. Ooh, let's see. What's that smell like? What's the nose like on that one?
On the Gushers Pie 3, it's like,
Yeah.
I want to say it's kind of like grape cream gas. Grape cream gas. But like the flavor and how it smokes, and I don't know, there's just something really, really special about this tree. Yeah, big up Uncle Jesse's Collective on this one.
That's a nice looking note there.
Yeah.
Dense.
Yeah, it's what I'm smoking. Pretty.
I can't help but wonder. So in your grow, are you in soil, or what's your method
I personally
of
like
growing?
soil. Yeah,
Just curious.
I personally like soil. I right now, one of my distro partners in California is the Soil King, and I work with him on a lot of levels. We're also on the Ganjier board together. And yeah, we almost talk daily, it seems. So he sponsors me with soil right now. So I use Soil King Big Roots right now. But I've been switching, you know, I switch it up all the time. I've used Build a Soil in the past. I love Jeremy and I love what their company does. You can really tailor your own soil, get it delivered out to wherever you're at. Big up Build a Soil. But yeah, right now I'm using Soil King Big Roots. I'm using Ambesa organic teas. It's basically just powdered nutrients that come in like mason jars. He's grinding them all up himself. He's doing a lot of it, you know, in-house. And I'm running teas and water in a little super soil blend from Big Roots out of, you know, the Soil Kings. And yeah, I just recently started R&Ding a lot of new LED lights. So this last round, I'm running these hash cropters out of Germany as well. And they're fully changeable. I can control them from a hub. I can set, you know, specific spectrums and intensities with these lights from my computer on the road. I can turn them off on the road. You know, they're really cool, fully controllable, versatile lights. You can even change the footprint of these lights. You can extend them. Yeah, they're really fucking cool. And then I also just recently got some more lights in the mail just a couple days ago before I left town. So probably plug in a couple new LEDs that are more static that I don't have to change and play with. But I really like the new technology of LEDs. I've been playing with LEDs since the purple spectrum first came out. And a lot has changed in the last decade of playing with LEDs. I've been just blessed enough to, you know, I'm lucky that I have a gift of gab. So a lot of companies give me these, you know, R&D lights, and I talk about them. You know, I talk to people about, I'm honest about it all. I talk to people about what I like, what I don't like. And it's good promotion for the light companies. I get some free lights out of it. And, Sometimes the homies get some lights out of it as well. You know, anybody that hangs out around here knows I generally fucking kick down lights from time to time. If you just hang out long enough, you'll get somebody will knock on the door and there'll be a set of lights I can't use.
That's pretty cool that you help out your friends and all that. That's fucking kick ass. That's kick ass. You know, in my eyes, you've had a pretty blessed journey. This plant's taken you all around the world. It must be nice. What was the first competition that you decided to enter?
Ooh, it must have been a High Times. Oh no, actually, sorry. First competition I ever entered was a cup in Colorado, and it was like a home growers cup, and we got second place for Apollo 99. It was like a Cindy 99 Apollo cross. I'm washed into bubble hash, you know, water hash back then, and we entered it. I'm spacing who the collaborative effort was with, and even what cup it was. But that was probably back in 2009, 2010. Yeah, I remember the hash. That's what I do remember. And then from there, we started entering High Times Cups. There was even like little Boulder Cannabis Cups and stuff like that we entered and did pretty well at. I think all of them in the beginning we did pretty well. We created the non-solvent list, the non-solvent category at High Times because we kept entering our product and it was competing, but they felt like it was not fair for it to compete against BHO back then when we had full melt water hash. And eventually they gave us our own category, the non-solvent category, and I actually helped write the non-solvent category and the weights and what you're looking for and all that, which is interesting now because that's what we're doing at GA is we're working on systematic assessment protocols. Basically, how do we assess a product? And that's what we created at High Times, 10, 12 years ago or something. Yeah, room full of stoners working till like 6 a.m. on that project during the cup. So yeah, big up the old school High Times crew is all I'm going to say. Big up the old school High Times crew because we had some good times back in the day. You know, pretty much like outlining some of what we've all used here in the future. But yeah, we did High Times, did Emerald Cup, and now I'm blessed to have been an Emerald Cup judge for the last 11 years or so. I've got my Emerald Cup judging happening right now, actually. You know, that's what I'm going to be getting to tonight.
It looks like I feel completely sorry for you there, Nikka.
Yeah, my life is really not that bad. I can't really complain too much, for real.
Yeah, that would be a fun.
Hey, I've had fucking horrible fucking times. You know,
how
like
much time do you get
brutal.
for that?
This industry is brutal. Like we've been through fucking everything. I've had 2 years of being fucked, you know, in this industry, but right now I feel pretty good. Sorry, what was your question? What was your question? My bad.
Oh, no worries, brother. How long they giving you to work through those samples? That was the question.
Like beginning of March.
A couple weeks away.
Yeah, I got a couple weeks. I'm already a good chunk through. I've already gotten through 12 of them. I got really high. Like I had to take a 3-hour hash nap after I got through those 12. For sure, before I went and DJ'd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. So how many places have you been with competitions with the hash?
Oh man, all throughout the world. It has taken me all throughout the world, everywhere from Jamaica to Barcelona, Spain to Canada to all throughout the United States, you know, East Coast, Massachusetts, Maine, it's taken me to, you know, California 50 times a year. It's taken me to Colorado 50 times a year. It's taken me to, man, all over the map, brother. I'm truly blessed to travel all over the world for this plant, for sure. You know, a lot of it's like me on my own dime traveling for, you know, my own purposes and wanting to be, you know, involved. But, you know, these days, you're right. Like a lot of people do book me to come DJ at an event or to come host an event or judge an event. And in those cases, they're putting me out there, putting me on a plane, taking care of me. So it's a blessing.
It's got to be an amazing journey for sure. We had Amelia Jensen on, the Hash Queen. She spoke very highly of you for sure
Right
when she
on.
spoke of you.
That's what's up. Yeah, I love Mila. She is the boss. She's the queen. She's who taught me so much of what I do today still, about rinsing, about just a lot of it, all of it, you know, the equipment, you know, what I needed to do. I picked her brain for hours and on end when I first traveled out to Amsterdam in the early 2000s and just bugged her. And I hung out at her warehouse and I spent nights in her hotel. She had this amazing hotel with different themed hash rooms and stuff. And yeah, I just really, I'm blessed to have gotten to meet her and for her to be so humble and open to even talking to someone like me, you know, some random fucking American kid, you know? So, yeah, big up Mila and the whole family over there. They're always showing so much love and support. Yeah, I love her. She's everything to me.
Who's been some of your influences for extracts knowledge over the years?
Oh man, she is a huge influence. People like Robert Connell Clark, huge influence. And then, you know, there's a lot of my employees over the years that have been huge influences on me now. So there's like Samwise Ganji. He worked for me for 4 or 5 years at least as like the lead tech in my lab. And in doing that, he was following my SOPs perfectly, but then he was given opportunities to be creative and to find other methods and, you know, creating, you know, even when THCA came out, I use this as an example. When THCA came out, I saw a white powder at a cup. And we were not the first people to do it by any means, but I like brought that white powder and I kept asking Sam, I was like, yo, the guy said he made it solventlessly. Like, how do we do this in the lab? And really Sam's the one who developed the tech in the lab. And he's developed a lot of the techs, him and Dirt for Terps, AKA Taylor Dirt for Terps. Both of them have developed a lot of tech over the years. You know, a lot of the new cold curing methods they've helped me with. Some of the jam techs, you know, I follow a lot of the hash makers that I originally taught. You know, Kenwall is a perfect example. He was one of my first clients ever that I taught in a room with Jibs. And now I'm watching some of his videos on how he folds his parchment paper for these new presses and some of the presses that he's using. You know, so I learned a lot from a lot of different people out there. And I'm watching the industry, you know, like a hawk, because I'm constantly wanting to learn and wanting to teach new methodology. I'm blessed to have an R&D lab. I'm blessed to have licensed labs that I work out of, where I'm able to push those boundaries and continue learning, you know, new technology and spreading that knowledge.
What an amazing, humble answer, brother. That's fucking hats off to you for giving props where props are due, man. That's I completely respect you for that, man. That's awesome.
Of course, always, always, always.
So you want to give us a little insight into your tech there? Some of your methods that you're using now.
Oh man, I'm doing all kinds of things, you know, like I always say the first tech that I always really want to focus on is cultivars. Like everything starts with the grow. So, and you can create amazing products, whether you have a hydroponics grow, whether you have a soil grow, whether you're growing in cocoa, you know, you can make amazing products no matter how you're growing. But one of the first things that I recommend focusing on if you're trying to produce solventless products is be specific with what cultivars, specific phenotypes that you are choosing to grow. That's where it first starts. You know, especially if you're first learning, go grab something like a Gorilla Glue number 4. It's going to be pretty easy to grow, and it's going to yield well. It's going to yield viably. There's not a lot of strains out there, especially that people love in flower form, that are the most viable in hash form. There are some, you know, and I've written about quite a few of them over the years. One of my favorites is Sour Diesel. It does great in hash form. Sour Diesel and chems do really well in solventless form. Think strains like the White, big up Chrome. The White does really well in solventless form, and a lot of those White crosses have won us cups over the years. Gorilla Glue number 4, as I mentioned, does really well. It's got that chem in its background that helps it, but it's even a bigger producer than chem or Sour Diesel was. In most cases, there's always variables. What else is on the list that I really like to recommend as far as cultivars to grow, especially in the beginning? GMO is like a new heavy hitter. It does serious numbers. You want to take it a little bit longer. It's got a longer flowering period, but it does serious numbers all throughout. GMO crosses. Even wedding cake has been hitting some numbers depending on the phenos that you're working with, but you know, look for some wedding cakes that do numbers. And yeah, I don't know. Every day there's new strains. I'm looking for those strains that do numbers, but also have terpene profiles that I really enjoy. You know, whether it be a lemon or whether it be a gelato or whether it be gas. You know, those are kind of the 3 that or lime and lemon, citrus in general, but not like a super lemon haze or not like a lemon cleaner type of thing. Jack Herrera. I don't like any of that stuff. I want like piercing lemon rind terps, like lemon tree or lemon G or sweet lemon tea. Yeah.
So, fresh froze or dry material?
Oh, I prefer whole plant fresh frozen. Retention of terpenes.
You know, I've heard it so lately on back and forth. I'm a fresh froze guy myself. I like to wet trim. I like to, you know, put my material up, and just for me, it's always made a greasier hash, a nice more oily hash. But there's a lot of people lately that's been dry. I'm like, "Ooh, I can't.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more work, but I prefer fresh froze myself.
Yeah, people go back and forth all day long with me, even with how they're cultivating, how they're harvesting. But I prefer whole plant fresh frozen. I want it untouched. I get to see the best representation and expression of the plant that way.
Uh, So, any suggestions on working on some of these greasier strains? Every so often, you get one in that first pull. It's like, oh man, the bag's almost shot. You
Oh
almost
man,
have to
yeah.
stop
The
and clean
first
the bag.
suggestion is you probably don't have a cold enough environment. If you have a greasy strain, I suggest bringing temperatures below 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold room, cold. So first and foremost, and then get all your equipment cold. So if you're going to go sieving after that, or whatever you're going to do, if you have a freeze dryer, even if you're pulling from your freeze dryer, make sure that you've dropped temperatures down, or you're in a really cold room as well when you're pulling from the freeze dryer, because you don't want it to go from your freeze dryer into a hot environment.
Well, how about if you're working a little bit of bud material? Any suggestions for working bud material as far as like breaking it up pre-wash
If it's
or time to let it soak?
dry bud, um, I really don't recommend utilizing dry bud. I think that you've decreased the amount of surface area that's going to help create viability when you're running solventless. So I think dried buds are better used elsewhere, as dried buds, or, taking them another route. But when you're talking about solventless, it's just really hard to get into the depths of those dry buds. Once they're dry, they tend to be a lot denser and the surface area decreases. So to get inside that dense bud, you got to beat it up too much. That's a hard one for me because I just really don't recommend washing dry bud. You'll find a few outliers if you have some airier
Didn't really
bud.
expect that answer either, to be honest with you.
If you find airier bud, you might be able to do it and make it viable, but I just don't think it's the most viable solution to use your dry bud for washing. Dried trim, sure. Dried larf, like real smalls, fine. But dried colas, no.
So when you're working with when you're doing your wash, is it always a set bag selection, or does it change
No, it
per
changes.
strain?
It changes
Do you do
per
test
strain,
wash
per
and go,
wash.
okay?
Yep. Pretty much every time I'll throw in a couple extra bags in there, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, where are those trichomes falling? If they're falling way, if they're bigger heads and they're falling a lot the upper ranges, I'm going to put more bags in those upper ranges. I'm going to separate that stuff even further up in the upper ranges. Like if I run, 120 or 185, 120 down to whatever, and I find a ton in that 120, I'm going to throw in a 160 in there as well. Just clean it up even further. But depending, like if that one, it's really dependent on what I see in those first bags, depending on the color and the consistency, I'll add or subtract bags accordingly. And then depending on what I want to do, whether I want to make full spectrum rosin, whether I want to make micron specific full melt, that would change up the bags.
Joe Y in chat would like to know what creates a more blonde hash, in your opinion.
Cultivar first and foremost. Those strains that just don't amber are kind of the ones you're going to look for. Pulling your plants right before they amber is going to change the color. Also, pulling out all the moisture is a huge variable as well. So if you can pull out 100% of the moisture from the product via something like a freeze dryer, you're going to have lighter colored product. What happens to a lot of product is people are drying in a hot environment or a humid environment, and moisture is being sucked into that hash. That's actually oxidizing the hash and creating a darker hash. That can happen as well. There's a lot of variables to it.
So does color make a big difference to you? Knowing what you
No.
know about hash and
No.
Oxidation, does it make a difference to you?
It's not a huge factor in what I want to smoke personally. It definitely has a sales factor. The lighter the hash, the more it's selling on shelves right now. But as far as our assessment of the product, color is not one that we grade on a scale. We note color and we talk about color. I'm referencing a lot of what we talk about in Ganjier in the program, but we don't grade color. If something's green, I grade it. If it's black or gray, I grade it. But other than that, other than the green and the black or gray, color's not graded. Because color, I guess, in the very beginning, green would be a DQ basically in a lot of our concentrate assessments these days.
So how important is the dry, in your opinion? Can you share some good dry techniques with us?
Drying is huge. If you don't have a freeze dryer, and even if you do have a freeze dryer, I always recommend always under 65 degrees. for those heads, specifically when they come out of the freeze dryer, or if you're planning on sieving it. But the lower the better, as long as it's not freezing. And yeah, cool dark place. If you're sieving or microplaning, always really, really cool dark place, low humidity. RH below 40% is what I like to dry in, relative humidity below 40%. And temperatures always below 65, but I prefer around like 44 to 55, just depending on what I'm doing, what product I'm doing.
How much would you say that the freeze dryer has changed the game? Me myself, you know, when I buy it, it looks very pretty. It smells good, but it doesn't seem to carry the buzz that just a traditional hash has, in my
Huh.
opinion. So I'm just
The
kind of
freeze dryer is
curious
really
to know your thoughts on the.
Yeah, the freeze dryer really changed the game for us, because it was finally an opportunity for me to put into my SOP, my standard operating procedure, what we do to mitigate the chance for mold and microbial. If we've removed 100% of the 100% of the plant material via sieving, water sieving through our bags, and then we've removed 100% of the moisture via a freeze dryer, we don't have near the chance of creating mold and microbial issues in the end product, because sorry, I'm getting blasted, because there's no plant material and there's no moisture. There's no moisture because of the freeze dryer. So it's really a step in our process to help mitigate the chance for mold and microbial, which is helping a lot of the patients, helping a lot of the consumers. You know, and now in our regulated industry, if you had any mold and microbial counts, the product would fail and you wouldn't be able to put it out in the market. Not that we would ever want to, but freeze dryer has really, really helped decrease mold and microbial issues.
And I want to give you some props, man, for answering all these questions. At this point, you've probably answered so many of these questions that it's got to be like, oh, okay, we're going
Oh,
down
good.
this
I'm just
road.
tired. I can just tell my eyes are getting tired. Yeah.
Richard Forbes in chat wanted to know what's the best method to dry without a freeze dryer.
I prefer at this point in my life microplaning. If you don't have a freeze dryer, big up Matt Rise, Ice Wax Kid, Ice Wax family, for the microplaning tech, because that creates a little bit more surface area than sieving, but still you can really only microplane, you know, if you have that cold, dry environment.
So, do you press? How do you feel about pressing your hash now and rosin these days? And what press
I
are you
love it.
using?
I love it. Pressing rosin has given us an opportunity to really, you know, separate grades even further, to refine water hash even further. It's given people that want a solventless option easier ways to, you know, educate about it. You know, the bud tenders don't have to say, well, this micron might bubble, this micron bubbles a lot, this one costs this much, and this, and a lot of consumers were really confused on how people were selling the water hash or bubble hash out on the market by the micron, because not always a 70 micron was going to be the meltiest. Sometimes the 120 micron was meltier. You know, sometimes even that 38 micron was meltier for that batch. So it's very subjective and very hard to sell at that point. Once rosin came on board, people were able to turn, you know, some of those products that didn't melt and some of the products that melted like crazy, you know, in both ways, into rosin, lower grade rosin into higher grade rosin. But it was easier to relate to the consumer what this product was. It was still very naturally produced. We're not using any chemical solvents. The consumer doesn't have to look at 15 of the same strain and be like, I don't know which one of those microns I should pick this time, you know? So I think rosin really helped with that aspect. And shelf stability. Rosin is huge for that, you know, especially with the new cold cure technologies. we're able to create a product that I can have in my pocket or have in a hot car or traveling with me, on the road and in my backpack or whatever it may be. And it's not going to change consistency whatsoever. And that's really, really nice. That's happened just in the last couple of years here is the stability of rosin, the change from fresh pressed rosin into cured rosin, if you will. And so that stability is really, really key for rosin.
So, as somebody makes a lot of bubble hash, I can't help but wonder, what do you do with all that water? Do you guys use it for anything? I know I like to use it for my plants. I actually feed that stuff to my plants, let it warm
Right
up
on.
and cut it in half.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered, and I've talked to a few other, excuse me, hash makers, and is it possible that you could, reclaim? Because we both know when we make bubble, there's loss to the water. It's so terpy, so smelly. Is there a way that we could reclaim that and add it back into our bubble? One
Um,
gentleman I spoke with kind of suggested that we may even be able to maybe freeze dry some of that and reintroduce it back into the bubble, and maybe like a mat tech. Once you're heating it up, maybe put that dry terps back in and flip it and make it a full medicine again. Any thoughts on that? Would it be possible? Would it be too much work?
I don't know. I've played around a little bit. I've created hydrosols, not known how to remove the terpenes from the water after they bound like that because they bind to the water. And so I've gotten to steps, but it's just hasn't been something I've personally had the time to play with or really the knowledge. So I'm open. I'm always open to it. I'm not going to ever say anything is not possible because we didn't think that creating THCA, 99.9% THCA mechanically without the use of chemical solvents was possible 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So, yeah, some really cool things have happened in this industry via people sharing knowledge. So I'm never going to put anything down, but I have not personally played with it. Yeah.
So with recreational coming very soon, hopefully across the country, are you going to be able to jump on that market? Are we going to be
Yeah, I
able to
mean, we're
find some nicotine
operational right
extracts
now.
here in Michigan?
Yeah, we're operational right now in California. I was operational in the recreational market in Colorado for or in the market in Colorado for 8.5, 9, 10 years, 10 years, 11 years. Fuck, I don't even know. For a long time. Right this very second, we're not operational in Colorado, but we're working on coming back every day. I'm building a huge facility in Missouri as we speak, over 10,000 square feet. I also am going to be distributing essential extract CBD nationwide, worldwide, actually. Sorry, worldwide. And Michigan is definitely going to be on the map. I'm trying to bring the Essential Extracts brand everywhere that will allow it and that wants quality and communication and education driven products.
Well, man, where do you see yourself going in 21? Do you have any plans for this year, or is it still too shaky to really put
Um,
anything in stone?
what's that? 2021.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting like all these notifications on my phone. I don't know why people are hitting me up this late, but I got a lot going on, man. The CBD launch, the Essential Extracts Missouri launch. I'm like really getting into my DJing, so definitely follow me on Twitch. Sundays, I'll be getting down and playing live music. Yeah, my creative energy is flowing. I'm motivated right now. So music and ganja, is life. That's what 2021's about, is just doing what I love to do.
It's pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. It's one of these things that this plant has blessed us, a lot of us, to be able to take that, take the reins of our life back, if you will, and be able to enjoy life a little bit more. It's a blessing. This plan is a blessing for a lot of us, for sure.
Oh, 100. Right on, boss. I'm
Well, you've
getting
been.
tired. I'm getting tired, man.
I can
It's
see
just
it.
been
I
a
was
long.
just.
It's been a long travel day.
No worries, man. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I have a ton of respect for you, so I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come hang out with me and the 92 of us, 93 of us still in chat right now.
Right
Uh,
on.
you know, pretty amazing for you to come hang out on a Friday night, even after forgetting the miscommunication. A lot of people I've done this 327 episodes. I've had this happen before. Most times when people realize the mistake, they're all like, "Yeah, fuck it, man. Let's just reschedule." But not you. You were like, "Hell yeah, let's do this,
I
man.
might be. Yeah, I
Fuck yeah."
might be in my hoodie and like my comfy clothes, but I'm down, bro. Yeah, I love to talk about this. So I appreciate you having me on the show. Much love to all the people in the chat, all the listeners. Give thanks.
I know they've got a lot of respect and love for you, sir. That's for sure. And it wouldn't be right. I had two things before we go that I offered to every guest, and you're no different. And you know, you are hash legend in my opinion. So I can only hope that you'll take me up on this first part. Basically, the show does go every night from 11:30 to 4:20. When shows do go short, which about 90% of the time. Uh, they shut down. I'll shut down the show, and then I restart up what I call the wormhole, which is pretty much a panel show, like a lot of people do. But it's all past guests. So the Zoom numbers are always the same. So if you happen to stumble upon the channel and we're doing a hash episode, or you just want to make a bunch of people stay, come on and smoke a joint, say hello, please do so, my friend. That Zoom number never changes, and it would be epic if you did take us up on it. So,
Right on.
open
Right on.
invitation there, good sir.
Right on.
Whenever you do see that. Secondly, the last thing I'd like to get from you is just that corny old radio sound belt. Excuse me, cottonmouth sound bite, if you will. Basically, in my words, this is what I'm looking for is, hey, this is Eagle Gardens, and I'm on fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 327. You can do whatever you want with it before or after with it, but basically this would be the commercial for your episode. So whenever you're ready, my friend, I
Wait,
am
so
recording this
this is
part.
this wait, so wait. You wanted me to say this is Eagle Gardens, the fucking
No,
something
no, no,
something?
no.
Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry.
I want you to say more like this is Nikka T, Essential Extracts, and I'm on fucking talking shit with Eagle,
Fucking talking
episode
shit with Eagle.
327.
327. All right, cool. I got you. Yo, what's good? This is Nikka T, Essential Extracts Worldwide. Give thanks for having me on the fucking talking shit with Eagle. Yeah, was that it? Sorry. I'm fucking lit. Give me one more. Give me one more take. What is it? Fucking fucking shit?
Fucking talking shit with Eagle.
Fucking talking shit with Eagle. All right. I think I got it right. Fucking talking shit with Eagle. Episode 327. All right. Take two. What's good? This is Nikka T. Take three. What's good? This is Nikka T of Essential Extracts. I'm lit as fuck. I'm over here with Talking Eagle. I don't know, bro. Oh, bro.
You're awesome, brother. One more time.
Yo, my name is Nikka T with Essential Extracts. I'm over here talking shit with fucking Eagle. And we're staying high. Episode 327.
Perfect.
I don't know, bro.
I'll take that. That was perfect, man. That was good, my friend. Thank you.
Right on, bro.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man, for taking time to do this, man. I can't repay you for this time, and I greatly appreciate it. You have a great night, my friend.
Right on, brother. Much love.
Take it easy.
Seriously.
That does end this episode 327. You guys hopefully will join me in the wormhole here in a few minutes. Of course, we have had Nikka with us, one amazing hash extract artist, amazing guy, DJ. What a great night. Thank you, Nikka T. So that does wrap up this episode 327. Hopefully you guys will take time and come hang out in the wormhole here in a bit. Hopefully so. What time is it? Holy cow, 12:45. Probably fire up the wormhole in a little while. Give me about, I don't know, 45 minutes or something. Unless somebody's wanting to jump in right away, give me a DM if that's the case. If not, I'll probably see you guys probably about 1:30. You guys, thanks again for tuning in. You guys have a great night. Please remember, do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. Living, breathing example of that.